Now, once this wither spawns, you're going to notice that this tank is actually really powerful. It's actually really nice. What's up, agents? Zer here, welcome back to the lab. Today we're going to be taking a look at the multiplayer tanks, and unfortunately, because this is technically multiplayer, and unfortunately I don't actually have someone to be able to test this with me. I promise I'll at least try to get someone here in the lab with me to showcase something someday. But anyway, we're going to be taking a look at this add-on. Now this add-on brings us to different tanks that you can drive and basically PvP with. That's the whole point of this add-on, is to basically PvP with tanks. Now, as you can tell, we've got ourselves a red tank and we've got ourselves a blue tank. Now, these actually have different stats depending on which one you're doing, but actually the stats are dependent on the actual PvP themselves. So this red tank is actually replacing the Stray, and this blue tank is actually replacing a wither skeleton. So if you really think about it, they're technically both skeletons. Now they both have 100 hearts, they both are able to jump if you're driving them, and they both have fire resistance, which means they are able to take a lot of damage before they end up getting destroyed, which is actually really nice. It's part of the reason why they're tanks. So this red tank, this is actually a pretty heavy tank. It's not as fast as the blue tank, but this large cannon on the front is extremely powerful. Now this blue tank, on the other hand, the twin cannons that it has are not near as powerful as the red tank, but it is able to move pretty fast. So I'd like to say that these are actually fairly decent stats in order to PvP. You've got the heavy but powerful tank, and you got the fast but not so powerful tank. I actually like those stats a lot. So let's go ahead and get inside these tanks and show you what it looks like. So this is what it looks like inside of the tank. And if you drive around in them, they will actually make a sound effect when you're driving them, which is actually really nice. And as I mentioned, they are actually able to jump. And it's the same as pretty much with the red tank. It actually looks really nice. The inside actually has a nice control panel, just like the blue one. You can obviously drive around and it makes the sound effects again. And again, you're able to jump with it. Actually really nice. So now let's go ahead and take a look at the items associated with this add-on. So we've got ourselves the spawn eggs for both of them. As you'd expect, these are just basic spawn eggs. As I mentioned, they're the Stray and Wither skeleton. And we also have these blue shells and these red shells. And before I go any further, I should probably go ahead and mention this add-on was created by a person by the name of BM Heeds over on Twitter. So huge shout out to them. So yeah, so you've got these blue shells and you've got these red shells. The blue shells, these are actually replacing snowballs. And the red shells, these are actually replacing ender pearls. Now, technically speaking, when you're PvPing with these tanks, they're supposed to be used with the tanks. However, I found out through experimentation, you do not actually need the tanks to fire these off, but they are actually pretty powerful. So let's go ahead and head into the obsidian chamber, because I actually have something already set up inside of there. We're going to be taking on the wither, obviously, otherwise I wouldn't be taking this stuff out. So let's go ahead and spawn in the blue tank, and let's go ahead and spawn in the wither. I made this little chamber for the wither so that it won't be able to escape. I thought that was actually kind of smart. So let's go ahead and get inside of our tank, get out our shells, and now we just go ahead and take on the wither without problem. So let's go ahead and do this. If this wither was actually not moving around, that would be helpful, because there's sometimes I actually end up missing him for whatever reason. So as you can tell, the tank is actually able to do not only some decent damage, but take some decent damage. And there we go, we just took out the wither just like that. Now, I did some testing. This is actually around about 18 to 20 shots with the blue cannon, the blue tank. So that's actually good to know. Alright, so let's go ahead and destroy the tank, and I think that also destroyed the tanks inside of the vehicle bay. Okay, that's fine. Alright, so let's go ahead and spawn in the red tank this time. And we're going to obviously be spawning in yet another wither. So let's go ahead and build another one of these guys. There we go. And the 3 skulls. 1, 2, 3. Let's go ahead and get into the tank. Now, once this wither spawns, you're going to notice that this tank is actually really powerful. It's actually really nice. So, as you can tell, he's taking a lot more damage from the projectiles from the red tank, which is kind of what you'd expect, because I said this red tank is actually pretty powerful compared to that of the blue tank. That takes about 8 to 10 hits from this tank, which is actually really not that bad. So I can definitely see how each tank would have its own advantages and disadvantages in an actual PvP battle. I actually can see that quite easily. So let's go ahead and destroy this, get rid of our night vision, and close the door, because we are pretty much done for this add-on. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed. If you did, make sure that like button. Or more than, make sure that subscribe button for future content. Also, you can follow me on Twitter at AgentCP0 to stay updated. This has been Zer0's. Thank you guys for watching, and with that, I will see you guys later.